Did you know that over 70% of women don't climax from penetration alone? It's not about going longer, being bigger, or trying harder. It's about understanding what actually works, and science has the answer. In today's video, I'll break down 4 simple positions that significantly increase her chances of orgasm, backed by real research and real results. And trust me, number 3 might just change the way you and your partner connect forever. Drop a comment if you've tried any of these, or if you're ready to. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want more science-backed intimacy tips made just for men like you. Did you know that over 70% of women don't climax from penetration alone? That number surprises a lot of men, especially those who have spent years thinking it was all about lasting longer or trying harder. But here's the good news. Science has actually mapped out 4 specific positions that can dramatically increase her chance of orgasm. These aren't tricks or gimmicks. They're based on anatomy, blood flow, and real clinical research. And I'll be honest, position 3. It's the one I recommend most often in my own practice. If you're looking to be a better partner and understand pleasure at a deeper level, hit subscribe and drop a comment with your thoughts or questions. I read every one. I'm Dr. Stacy Loeb, a urologist, researcher, and professor with over 15 years of experience helping men and couples improve their health and intimacy. Throughout my career, I've seen one common truth. When we understand the science of pleasure, connection gets deeper, not just physically, but emotionally. Whether it's navigating prostate issues, low testosterone, or bedroom challenges, my mission is simple: to give you real, evidence-based guidance you can actually use. And today, we're diving into one of the most misunderstood topics in relationships: what actually helps her reach climax, and how you can make it happen with confidence and care. Let me tell you a quick story. David is 62 years old, a retired firefighter, proud grandfather, and by all accounts, a strong, dependable man. But when he walked into my office, he wasn't feeling very strong. He looked down, shifted in his seat, and finally admitted, "Things with my wife just aren't the same." They hadn't been intimate in months. Emotionally, they felt distant. Physically, they were disconnected. And David thought maybe something was broken in him or in their marriage. But here's the truth. Nothing was broken. All it took was a simple shift, 2 position changes, based on how her body responds to pressure and connection. I showed him how they worked, why they worked, and how to introduce them gently. A month later, David came back for a follow-up. He looked 10 years younger. He smiled and said, "Doc, we're back." That same week, his wife dropped off a box of homemade cookies at the clinic. I'd say that was a pretty good sign. So what exactly changed for David and his wife? It wasn't magic. It was blood flow and body mechanics. You see, research, including a 2022 study using 3D models and ultrasound, has shown that certain positions during sex increase clitoral blood flow more than others. And when blood flow increases, so does arousal, sensitivity, and the likelihood of orgasm. It turns out that most traditional positions, especially the ones centered around male pleasure, don't provide consistent or direct stimulation to the clitoris. But when you adjust angles, rhythm, and depth to match her anatomy, everything changes. The beauty is, it doesn't require more effort, just better understanding. Science gives us the roadmap. All we have to do is follow it with a bit of patience, presence, and communication. And that's exactly what David did. So what exactly changed for David and his wife? It wasn't magic. It was science and a bit of anatomy. You see, one of the biggest discoveries in recent sexual health research is that the position you choose during sex can directly affect the level of blood flow to the clitoris. And when clitoral blood flow increases, so does arousal, sensitivity, and, you guessed it, the likelihood of orgasm. A groundbreaking 2022 study used 3D models and ultrasound imaging to track how different positions affect this flow. The results were clear. Certain angles and motions stimulate the clitoris far more effectively than others. Which brings us to position 1, woman on top, face to face. At first glance, it may seem simple, even familiar. But what makes this position so powerful isn't just the view. It's the control it gives her. She can choose the depth, the angle, and the rhythm that feels right for her body. This position naturally allows her pelvis to move in a way that creates steady, direct pressure along the clitoral shaft. And because she's guiding the motion, it's easier for her to sync her movements with her pleasure, not just yours. Ultrasound scans from the study showed symmetrical blood flow through both sides of the clitoris in this position. That's a big deal. It means the entire structure is being activated, not just one part, and that's exactly what makes orgasm more likely. So for David and his wife, starting here made all the difference. It put her back in the driver's seat and brought them back together, one rhythm at a time. Now, let's move on to position 2, and this one is all about a small change that makes a big difference. It's missionary, but with a simple adjustment. Place a pillow under her hips. Yes, just a pillow. But what it does biomechanically is surprisingly powerful. By lifting her pelvis just a few inches, you change the angle of entry. This upward tilt allows your body to press more naturally into the front wall of the vagina, right where the clitoris, urethra, and internal erectile tissue sit in close proximity. In other words, you're not just going deeper, you're getting closer to where it really matters. In the same 2022 study, researchers found that when a pillow was added under the woman's hips, clitoral blood flow increased significantly compared to standard missionary. The contact became more consistent, the stimulation more focused. And here's the bonus. This position also lets your body weight add gentle pressure against her pubic area, which can enhance the sensation even more without having to do anything extra. It's simple, intimate, and familiar, but now with intention. I often recommend this variation to couples who are just beginning to re-explore physical intimacy after a period of distance or discomfort. It doesn't feel intimidating. It doesn't require flexibility or advanced technique. But when done right, it opens the door to deeper connection, both physically and emotionally. Sometimes the smallest shift in perspective or in posture is all it takes to bring two people closer again. Now let's talk about position 3, the coital alignment technique, or CAT for short. This one is a little less common, but it might just be the most powerful, especially for couples who have struggled with pleasure during penetration alone. At first glance, it looks like missionary, but it's not. The key difference lies in how your bodies line up. Instead of the usual in-and-out thrusting, the goal here is to slide slightly upward during entry, so that the base of your penis, or your pubic bone, presses directly against her clitoris throughout the motion. From there, you don't thrust. You rock, gently, together. Your pelvises move in sync, sliding back and forth in a subtle rhythm, not up and down, but forward and back. Think of it less as a performance and more like a slow, sensual dance. The beauty of this position is that it creates constant, targeted pressure on the clitoris, which, again, is where most women need stimulation to reach climax. And the research backs this up. Women who had never reached orgasm through intercourse alone were finally able to do so when using this technique consistently. Now, I'll be honest, this one does have a bit of a learning curve. It's not about speed. It's not about power. It's about listening, adjusting, and staying in tune with her body. That's why I always remind couples, be patient, talk to each other, laugh if it feels awkward, learn together. Because when it clicks, the result is more than just physical pleasure. It's the kind of intimacy that lingers long after the moment ends. Finally, we come to position 4, sitting face to face. It may not top the list in terms of raw stimulation, but what it offers is something just as important: emotional connection. In this position, both partners are seated, often with her straddling his lap, legs wrapped around, arms resting gently on shoulders or back. It's close, it's personal. Your bodies are aligned, your eyes meet, and every movement feels shared. From a physical standpoint, this position does allow for some clitoral contact, especially when there's subtle grinding or rocking involved. But because there's less gravity pressing down, the direct stimulation may not be as intense as in other positions. Still, don't underestimate what this setup offers. When paired with intention, gentle movement, focused breathing, and yes, even a hand or a toy if needed, it becomes incredibly intimate. It's also ideal for slower moments, for early mornings, lazy Sundays, or nights when you're not chasing intensity but looking for presence and closeness. For many couples, especially those who have been together for years, this position rekindles something deeper. A chance to look into each other's eyes, to feel the rhythm of breath, to touch without rushing. Because at the end of the day, great sex isn't just about climax, it's about connection. And this position, simple as it may seem, reminds us that sometimes being fully present is the most powerful act of all. Now here's something that even surprised me as a doctor. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired. It actually lowers testosterone, delays arousal, and increases the risk of erectile dysfunction. That's why optimizing your sleep is one of the simplest, yet most overlooked, ways to improve your health and intimacy. Personally, I use the 8 Sleep Pod cover. It's a smart mattress topper that automatically adjusts the temperature of each side of the bed through the night. So whether you run hot, your partner runs cold, or you deal with night sweats or hot flashes, it adapts. Since using it, I've noticed better recovery, deeper rest, and yes, noticeably improved performance. It's backed by clinical data, and for me, it's become non-negotiable. If you'd like to try it, use code DOCTORJAMES for $350 off. And the best part, you can try it risk-free for 30 days. Link S in the description. Beyond positions, there are a few simple techniques that can make a world of difference. First is angling, using a pillow or adjusting hand placement to tilt the pelvis, helping create better contact where it matters most. Next is shallowing, focusing on the first 1 to 2 inches of penetration. That area is rich with nerve endings and often far more sensitive than we realize. And finally, pairing, combining penetration with direct clitoral stimulation, whether with your hand, a toy, or gentle pressure. Studies show that nearly 70% of women report more intense, satisfying orgasms when pairing is part of the experience. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what works. At the end of the day, great intimacy isn't about performance. It's about presence, patience, and learning what truly brings you and your partner closer. These 4 positions, along with a few small techniques, aren't tricks. They're tools. Tools backed by science and guided by care. So don't be afraid to try something new. Talk to your partner. Explore together. Because connection, real connection, is always worth it. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe for more science-backed tips on men's health and intimacy. And drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or even what worked for you. You're not too old. You're just getting started.